That's okay.
All right. Well,
Oh, we're on.
Welcome everybody.
Hey.
That's the music sting. The music sting is we're up. So hello, welcome to Encounter Roleplay. Hello to all of you out there watching on Twitch. If you're watching this on YouTube, just know that you can join us live every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or if you're like a few of us here on the show, it can be 8 a.m. on a Sunday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. This is Shadows, Empire and Shadows, the Compact. But before we start, let's head round and introduce ourselves. As you can see, we are unfortunately without Zane. His computer decided to not start. It did that wonderful thing where you press the button, the light on the light, some of the lights go on, but the fan and screen and nothing else happens. So we tried to find a workaround, and that isn't the case. So probably not going to have any a Zane, which is unfortunate. But we're going to head round. Muffin, how are you this week?
Look, Sam, it has been a week in my life. I've had a string of bad luck and terrible occurrences, but I'm looking up. It can only get better from here, and I'm sure the Demon Lord will be on my side.
Yeah, that's the twist. That is that Jamie is actually the servant of the Shadow. It doesn't matter who's playing. Jamie, the person.
What character?
I just want to be embraced in that sweet shadow.
Oh,
yes,
Jamie.
that's definitely that's definitely how the game plays out. Everyone is like, yeah, the Demon Lord's a pretty decent guy. That's something we want. But on that note, moving around, Ree, how are you today?
I am good. I did an escape room today, and then I watched Silence of the Lambs. So I've had a really great day. Yeah, much less stressful than last week. And yeah, I'm kind of boring. Sitting here talking armor classes, missing the opening of the show because I'm like, but is my defense this? Or is it this? So looking forward to testing how good that defense is. Woo!
All right, and finally, we have Chantal. Chantal, how are you?
I am great, and I'm so happy to be here finally.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! I'm conscious.
That's all we ask here. Are you excited to finally get to run around with these crazy people?
I am so excited to try not to die.
Well, you know, most of the people haven't lost a character on their first session. So,
I mean,
that's encouraging.
I'm glad that bubble's been burst. I'm glad that I was not that yeah.
He wasn't like in your grand entrance and also involved the first character death. I suppose that would have been
yeah. I'm really glad I wasn't. I just watched and went.
Yeah, I actually felt like I get that it's supposed to be a kind of a grim game, but like reading through the incapacitated rules and went, he has to die. Like, there's no way around that. Okay.
Yeah, I feel pretty guilty.
Must
Probably should have shitted him with my giant metal horse buddy.
It was a difficult situation, but it is what it is. And Sorry got a nice piece of armor out of it, so
That's true. We'll see today how nice that is.
And anyway, but before we see that, before we jump into the game, we do need to thank all of our wonderful sponsors for the show. And today we are sponsored by Fantasy Grounds. It's our virtual tabletop of choice, and all of the roles that you'll see down in the corner there are using Fantasy Grounds, which you can try for free at fantasygrounds.com. You can also get all your miniatures from Wayland Games. So if you go to waylandgames.co.uk, you can get yourself a huge range of Dungeons & Dragons, Warhammer, and 40k miniatures, all for 20% off. And this week, you can also check out our sponsor, Dice Envy, who have an amazing subscription service where you can get cool new dice every month. Starting at just $5, you have access to a limited run dice that gets delivered to your door. So you can go and check that out at diceenvy.com. All of those links, all of those sponsors can be found in chat. If you go !sponsor, you'll come up with the links to all of our wonderful sponsors. And also, if you support the show by retweeting the announcement tweet for the show, which you can find by !tweet in the chat, if you get enough of those retweets, we will be giving away a set of dice here on the show. Also, and as I mentioned in the title, there's a lot of ways that you can actually influence the game directly. There's a lot of donation incentives where you can give natural ones, natural 20s, wild magical surges, and a bit of a sort of special going on at the moment, the Table of Pets. If you go !donate, you can find out all about that. And when it comes out, we'll just have to deal with it, which, as we're talking in the tunnel, we did get a pet donated, which everyone was very excited. And we did talk about this, but we were worried about pets. But I think basically, I don't think we've had a session where someone didn't have some form of pet, and the pets have survived. And I don't want to give anything away, but it's not changing. That role is not changing today. So here we go. There's also something we've been a bit remiss in not reminding everyone. But on Twitch, if you are watching this live, you can clip moments that you've particularly enjoyed. So if something happens during the show and you think that was pretty fantastic, please feel free to clip it, because Encounter Roleplay will be using them for things like highlight reels and putting them on Twitter. So if anything particularly fun happens, feel free to just clip it. So without further ado, let's jump into the game.
Yay!
Let's do it.
So where we left off last week was a team had been sent to infiltrate a ball and to check whether or not a high-ranking military official was a traitor, essentially. And it turned out he was doing what you feared he was doing, but not for the reasons you thought. And then at some point, he was then assassinated right in front of you. It's been a few days since that. And during that time, there have been increasing reports coming in about the heightened actions from the cult of the new god. Essentially, from what you can gather, what the compact can gather, is after the events at Dewhurst, the town where you discovered the town was basically working with beastmen to feed them refugees. The church has absolutely stepped up its work in sort of ferreting out heretics and apostates and anyone dabbling in darkness, essentially. So the Sacred Order of the Swords of Astrid, which is the Inquisition, is just ramping up their activity, which has got people on edge. No one likes inquisitors coming to their door. No one likes inquisitors that are overly active.
Inquisitors generally known for their subtlety and kindness.
Yeah. You'd think, but that's not what happens. And there's definitely been talk that they've been a bit overzealous, that even with the slightest suspicion, they're going just on a rampage. And so this is adding to a lot of tensions.
Being overzealous, really.
I know. And they're all like, there's always a bit of concern with them, but the Inquisition hasn't stepped up to this extent in a long time. And so everyone is on edge. Everyone is becoming suspicious becoming more guarded, but also more suspicious of everyone around them. and it's become a very tense time. And within that air, the compact, the headquarters where you are, has received a distress call from one of their safe houses. Now, in the time since the compactors had to flee the capital when Drudge the Orc murdered the Emperor and claimed the throne as his own, and the Orcs ended up in an uprising that led them to taking over the capital province. You have lost, the compact did lose contact with a lot of safe houses. They were attacked constantly for that period of time. But one of the ones that you hadn't lost was a safe house in the town of Fair Rock. Fair Rock is in the Northern Reach. It's roughly between an area known as the Barrows, a sort of a hilled area known as the Barrows, and a body of water called Cold Lake. Roughly in between that is the town of Fair Rock. There was a safe house in there, and the distress has come through that it's been compromised. So Sorry and Sly are being sent to Fair Rock to meet up with whoever has survived, and your orders are to go into the safe house and either recover or destroy whatever sensitive information is in there. A lot of it is protected, so even if there are people still there, the most sensitive stuff should be still protected, at least for now. It's no protection is impervious, but your orders are to make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. If there are still people sort of occupying the people who have attacked the safe house, they are still there, you can of course deal with them, but that is not your primary mission. You are not required to do that, but obviously you might need to be able to do this job. You were given a code word, which I'm now realizing I did not come up with, but it's essentially a call and response. So you have the call. So feel free when you meet your contact to come up with any appropriately noir sounding call and response, and that will be what it was. So I've already sort of mentioned who the two people who are coming, but we're going to say that we're sort of join you on the outskirts of Fair Rock, which is a relatively nondescript town, kind of why there's a safe house there. But Jamie and Ree, please tell us who you're playing today. We're going to go. We'll start with Jamie. I just realized as soon as I said it, I was like, no one to pause and wait. Who's going to start? That's on me. Jamie, who are you playing?
Jamie was first.
Yeah.
We will enter the vortex of politeness. No, I am playing Sly. He currently looks like a young, pretty red-headed boy. He looks like he's maybe 16 or so.
Awesome. I was about to ask, because last time we saw Sly, he looked like a wog, and it's like that's not a look you can keep going for a while. So
no.
You found something else.
And I think as the camera pans up on Sly, he says, "Oh, I'm so glad they let us bring this beast along. Don't you think Raw won?" And he looks at Sorry.
Oh.
And I think Sorry, like,
I wasn't ready. I knew it was going to. I knew this. I knew there was going to be a version of the Sly voice, and I wasn't prepared. Oh goodness.
Yeah. So standing next to Sly is a giant mechanical lion.
Oh, great. I am not, I'd like to point out, the way you said that, I'm not the giant mechanical lion. I'm not Raw 1.
No.
But, I mean, if I could be, I would. Standing next to Sly, shall I move on to Sorry? We see an orc, and a very interesting orc character. They are malnourished. They're thin, but there's a strength in their thinness. It's like this lean lankiness. And they are unkempt and dirty. They've got scars and pits, which for those that know, who've followed us in our character creation, Sorry, flagellates, is a self-flagellator, and strictly follows the religion of the cult of the new god. They also have, and I think this is very cool, and goes along with their reputation of being a badass, a large tattoo of a snake eating its own tail on its. It says chest or back, and I like that it's not specified, so maybe it just moves depending on the day. Like some days you're like, wasn't that on your chest? Wait, was that on your back yesterday? Like you never know where it's going to be. It's like an enchanted chest/back tattoo.
Oh.
And
so
that is sorry.
I guess like a bit of like the sort of behind the scenes stuff is we often I mean, I particularly for any of the characters I've rolled up, I left a lot of the background details in broad terms so that whoever was playing them got to make that decision, and obviously different people can play them so they can add to it as they play. I hadn't thought of the idea that when it was listed as chest or back that the response would be both. Both, but at different times.
Yeah, no,
that's fantastic.
Robin Hood Men in Tights when King John has the mole, Prince John has the mole that's constantly moving around his face. Imagine that with a back or chest tattoo.
At some point, it's like, didn't you have a tattoo on your chest? Why is it on your back now?
I have a tattoo. Exactly. That's what my head is.
And I guess another point of reference is the snake eating its own tail, or the Ouroboros, is the holy symbol of the cult of the new god,
yes,
which
correct.
reflects the idea that that every person lives in a cycle of birth and rebirth, and because their soul is the only part of you that is eternal. The body is just a vessel, and when you die, you will your soul will go to wherever it's going to go, and to be reset essentially, and then returned to the world, and that is what the cult one of the core concepts of the cult of the new god. As you go into the town, well, not really into the town, but you're sort of sticking to the outskirts, but there is you've been told a sort of meeting point, and as you head there, a figure sort of steps out of the shadows, and Chantel, I'm going to get you to describe Aurora to everyone.
Aurora, as she steps out of the shadows, her heels click on the floor. And she's wearing a fairly long skirt, and it takes you a moment to realize that actually what was clicking on the floor wasn't clicking on the floor. She has hooves. And you realize that there was something about her that you found really attractive, and you weren't too sure what it was, and then you realize that she has particularly large ram horns, and they shine and they glitter in different light. And they look luminescent. And as she walks out, her hips sway from side to side. Hello, darling.
Oh, hello there. My companion and I have been postulating on the density of dwarves.
They are very compact.
And what did you decide?
They are very compact.
Oh, that was.
Does that mean they're heavier? Or?
We've totally missed this. Totally missed this.
No, I think that's exactly what the call and response planned by this secret spy organization was. We have been postulating the density of dwarves, and then what did you conclude? That they are heavy. It was the set.
Not that they're heavy, Sam. Sam, you missed the pun. It's not that they're heavy. It's that they're
very compact.
Like,
they have to be compact.
Sorry, I did miss that. Okay. I love it even more.
I missed that entirely.
Yeah. No, I
started postulating.
Yes, this is Aurora. This and as you look around, is the only person meeting you. Aurora, you were a sort of agent in training that was stationed at this safe house, and you were able to, you were sort of ordered by your superior when this happened, was to use essentially the emergency exit and to flee. Which whether you would have preferred to stand and fight with your fellows is up to you, but you were ordered to do this and so that someone could send out this distress call. And since then, it's been a few days, probably going closer to a week, and there's been no sign of anyone else from the safe house leaving. But so it's safe to assume that they're either prisoners or dead. You have been able to sort of see, because obviously where the entrance is. The safe house itself is in a sort of a farmhouse just on the outskirts of the town and on the edge of Cold Lake. You've been able to see that there is some activity there from these people that have attacked you. And you've also been able to keep an eye on this emergency exit, which you could also probably use to get back in. And no one's used it since you left. So either they haven't discovered it, or they're wily enough to not give that away.
Yeah, I think after the intro, Sly's generally jovial manner sort of drops, and they say, "What's the situation? We heard it was pretty severe here."
Yes, we were attacked, and I was told to flee. Truly, I fled.
Yes, well, staying alive is the only path to promotion.
It is an important requirement for most people, yes.
You are not wrong.
You would have, during the attack, Chantel, Aurora wouldn't have seen a lot of who was attacking at that moment, because it was basically immediate, like, we're under attack, you need to go. You need to get this alert out. But you've since been able to keep an eye on, as you said, these people, and at least on the outside, there's just enough people, because there was always some of the agents would sort of be on the outside, sort of giving the appearance of like that the farm was in use, and whoever's attacked you has kept that up. So you've seen a few people outside doing that, but they're not as they're clearly more sort of like, these guys have a sort of a not mercenary. They don't look professional enough to be mercenary, and you feel like that there was this press of numbers, at least during the attack. Whether they're still all there or not is different.
Did this happen at night?
Yes.
Right.
Before going on, I think Sorry steps forward towards Aurora and just says, "Please forgive my intrusion, but your horns, your hooves, you a demon? I would need to know now."
No. I'm a fawn.
What's that?
You can't just ask somebody if they're a demon, Sorry.
How else will I know?
So you've got a very Vicar of Dibley feeling there. It's like, no.
No. Yes.
Just for, I guess, for context, as an orc, you've probably not really encountered fawns before. In fact, just in general, fawns aren't super common. They they kind of exist in this thing where they would love to be included in particularly human society, or for that matter, Fae society, and then both kind of reject them, because fawn, despite having and one of the reasons they try and avoid human society is they're often mistaken for beastmen. But fawn are actually what happens when a mortal spends too much time in the Fae realm. So either as a result of if there was like a fae and a mortal had a child, it would be a fawn, or often the children that are taken and replaced with changelings can turn into fawns. And then some of them leave the Fae realm.
Yeah, I think that's Sorry's just constantly on edge and prepared to. They don't want to interact with evil, so they, I think, are very upfront about asking people but their alignments or affiliations, and like you said, they don't really have a great field of reference, and they're quite young. So I think they just ask questions quite forward.
Because you probably have at least either seen or you would have known of beastmen, so that is that sort of like, and beastmen are obviously these corrupt and evil things. So yeah, it is it might be a bit rude, but it's not an uncalled for question.
Cool.
Do I look evil to you, darling?
No comment.
It's like Sorry is giving a serious consideration of what evil looks like.
I think so. I think they're now facing a very serious thought process.
Does evil have an appearance?
Yeah.
All right. Well, what would you like to do from here?
Evil or not, we've been sent to clean up the mess. I hate to tell you this, but we're going to have to go back in there and destroy any sensitive information that was left behind.
Must we?
Yes. It is why we were sent back.
You see, I'm hoping that after a mission of this much importance, there might finally be some upward movement in this bloody organization.
More importantly, we might be able to help people. But yes, I suppose we'd be helping you.
Helping the people.
Yeah.
Let's go. I think Sorry starts to make their way in the direction of the safe house.
Even roll 1 looks awkward.
Ooh, this is the first time I've seen this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yes, it would be. So I guess for that note, roll 1 is a large mechanical construct, which is not uncommon in this world, but it is a lion, a large mechanical construct in the shape of a lion. Looks like it's almost like this metal. Someone made like a metal sculpture, but then decided it should be able to move. And it does sort of. It's got that sort of like, despite being this large metal thing, it still has that kind of like feline predator feel to it as well. And it's sort of been looming over the other two during this conversation.
Does your pet eat?
Only the blood fear of our enemies. Snap.
Jinx.
Yes.
Jinx.
You owe me a Coke.
Roll 1 for a does need to be, like, for reference, does need to be commanded, but so far has been very willing to follow the commands given to it by compact agents. So
no, I think Sly's more likely response is, "Oh, Sorry is an orc, not a pet."
Rough.
Ooh.
Rough.
Right in the racism, gee.
Oh dear.
Picking on the
Right. Well,
Ugh.
Philip, that was embarrassing. Shall we keep going?
Please.
Of course.
Yeah.
Roll 1 is not much for stealth type missions, but they can provide a wonderful distraction.
that should be useful, I think, for this. You'll see. You'll see what I mean.
All right. Shall we
So I'm gonna
segue there? Like
Yeah.
ride segways?
ride segways.
I want like an old
how do you want to
school
approach
90s
this?
diagonal wipe with a, you know, like a
Yeah.
sting.
I want to approach.
it's
I'm
the,
going to. I mean,
it's like the Batman.
sorry is not stealthy, but I would like to approach. I think we should approach fairly stealthily, considering when you left,
Yeah.
it was under
And
attack.
how are you
It was-
approaching the main building? What did you want to do?
You came through. You left via an exit, did you not? Like an escape
Yeah.
route. Can we head back that
Yes.
way?
All escapes can be
Yes.
entrances.
Unless it's a one-sided door. One of those push-pull issues.
Well, if it's a push-pull issue, surely pushing or pulling the other way would still make it an entrance.
Astrid has blessed you with much knowledge. I'll ponder this.
Sorry's mind is just like there are so many buildings I could have gotten inside. Oh. Yeah, you can go. There's basically a ways from this farmhouse. There's a sort of quite well concealed. It's a sort of like a little sort of mound of earth, and if you sort of know where to look, you can sort of discover that there is an entranceway, a little sort of a that you can use to get inside.
I was wondering before we head there, if the Aurora is familiar, because I know you were keeping watch on it. Is there like an overlook where we can get a look from, just so that we can get an idea of what the situation is, like from a distance?
And that was a question that I had as well, in terms of patrols or in terms of sort of the rhythms of people that I know would be walking in the area normally. Have those patrols changed?
It seems pretty consistent over the last few days. Like there's on the outside of the building, and the safe house, like there's the main building, but it also goes sort of into like quite a large underground space. It was a relatively well set up safe house. And so there's enough people sort of like, there's a token amount of people who are there to appear to be working the farm. Like they go out into the fields, they sort of make an attempt at tilling. None of them, you know, on close inspection are farmers. So it's like they're just sort of going through the motions. But there are a few people who are, you know, sort of are trying to be discreet, but are, you know, better armed and are just sort of walking around more as guards, essentially. There's not usually that many. It's like I said, it's just to keep up. So a casual glance, no one's going to be like, why is that farm empty? But there was there were many more during the attack, and you haven't been able to keep a watch at all times. But there is a spot you could probably go to that would be, even with you know, and not so silly people like these. There's relatively, like, you found a pretty good location that if you wanted to get an overview of this place, you could all go and watch. You might have to keep Raw 1 back, but the other two could easily sort of get there.
Given.
Yeah, I'd be down for going and doing a little bit of scouting.
Yeah.
Shall I wait with Raw 1?
Yes, that'd be wonderful. I just want to get a quick look so that we know the lay of the land.
Very well. Please return and travel with safety.
Of course. They're just sort of like...
Would you like us to return first? Before traveling with safety, or?
Well, no.
I will go away.
No. Yeah, and I think once again, Sorry's now looking down and is like adding it to their understanding of like language. The other thing I should say is like I think Sorry is still getting a grasp on language functions and what is actually writing poetry and is trying to work out poetic ways of saying things, and it's not always there.
He's making an effort, and that really is really what counts.
They're making an effort, yeah.
Right, sorry. They are making my bad.
So good. I'm
sure.
working
So
on it.
if Sorry stays with Roll 1, Sly and Aurora, you can make your way over there. And as I said, it's relatively well established. So, and both of you are quite stealthy, so I don't see the need for you to roll anything. What are you looking out for? Anything in particular?
Look, I just want to Aurora to show Sly the location of the entrance, as opposed to like where the watchers are, like the people in the farms, and like, are all the people on the farm, do they all appear to be humans? And
yes, they all appear human. The entrance, the main entrance into the safe house is essentially just in the building. The building, like on the surface, I guess is technically the safe house, but like the safe house proper is sort of into the basement area and is more expansive than what you'd expect for a house. Like,
then,
but
I suppose
that would be the main entrance. Sorry, you go.
No, well, what Sly is looking for is just where would be best to cause a distraction to draw attention directly away from where the secret entrance is.
Oh, the secret entrance is further away. The secret entrance itself is out of sight of the farm. It's not like you could go to the secret entrance, well, the emergency exit essentially, without any of the people outside knowing or seeing. It's a decent ways out.
In which case, we want to draw their attention after we're in there. So we're going to have to give Roll 1 some slightly complex commands, because the idea is hopefully to draw people out of the safe house if they're there, so that while we're in there, there's less attention on us.
Yeah. The problem with that way of doing things is that once you have drawn attention to the fact that something is happening, everyone becomes more suspicious that something is happening.
You know, I hadn't thought of that. I was just thinking that everyone would be distracted by a mechanical lion charging into the house.
That would definitely be distracting.
Hopefully we'll be
However,
in and
once
out
you've
quickly,
dealt with the lion,
fire to anything and recover whatever we can.
if there are people in there, I would hope that we wouldn't set fire to them.
No, of course. Recover the people, set fire to everything else.
Aurora thinks about this for a
valuable
moment.
information fall into the hands of our enemies.
Absolutely not. What if people are... What if we need longer than Raw 1 can give?
How big is this safe house?
Larger than it appears.
It's sort of so if you sort of, you can imagine sort of like it's a fairly large, like 2-story farmhouse, but underneath is probably close to like 3 times the floor, the sort of area. But it's not like a maze or anything. It's, you know, it's designed to be a functional space. It wouldn't be difficult to the time. It wouldn't be difficult of finding the stuff. Like you have a rough idea of the layout. You know where things are. You know how to access this the information that's you can at least bypass whatever protections are up for the information and whatever else is being held here. the delay is really how much of a obstacle the people in there are gonna be, or how you, or if it's going to be difficult if there's people there to be rescued, what the difficulty there would be.
Yeah. How many people were in the safe house when I was there?
About a dozen.
Okay.
And
including
you.
So, including me. So that means that there would need to be at least a dozen more, roughly, if they were of equal strength.
Yes.
To be overpowered.
What you were sort of, the report that you were given as this attack happened, so the report you got from the guards up the top, as before you were told to sort of go out the exit, was that it did seem to be a large number. It was like it seemed that they were using numbers rather than as their strength, rather than sort of skill or ability. But at the same time, there's good chance that the people who stayed have been able to put up a decent fight. They were pretty skilled agents and personnel in the safe house, so you're not really sure how, you have a good sense of numbers inside.
Yes.
Well, Candle, I'm here to help. If you think it would be better to take Raw One inside, then perhaps you're right. Will they fit through the back entrance?
The entranceway, yeah, it's a sort of the hatch. You can imagine almost like storm. What are they called? Like storm gates for a basement, like these double doors that you can sort of open up. So it's
like in Twister.
Yeah, so it's designed. It's designed so that you could. Yeah, it is designed that in a pinch you could use it to get supplies and gear through and whatnot, if you wanted, if there was something you wanted to move without people seeing it, but also as a means of escape, should it be compromised like it was. So it is big enough for Raw One to get through, should you want to do that.
I think that would probably be safer.
As you say, I'm all for going through the back entrance and then just walk off.
Philip, they're interesting. I like them.
All right.
I'm on my best behavior, I just want to say.
Yeah.
We're less than an hour in. We can mark the innuendo has begun.
Hey, man. It says on the character sheet, vulgar. I'm going with it.
Look, haven't yet
helpful,
reached, haven't read,
but vulgar.
Helpful, but vulgar. We haven't yet reached the Triple H rating that we got in the last couple episodes, but it's early days. It's fine.
We'll get there. It's early days.
Can I say, as you walk back and you approach Raw One, and I just want to say that Sorry's leaning against Raw One and smoking a cigarette and looks really freaking cool. And he's got a little notebook out and occasionally has a thought, holds a cigarette in his mouth and scratches something in it with a clawed
He's
finger.
he's wearing a leather jacket that he definitely wasn't wearing before.
Yeah, they're definitely wearing a leather jacket.
Which wasn't there before. It's just how did generated a leather jacket just by pure force of cool.
Literally. And then is what is it? And then just takes it off and throws it on the ground.
It's it just keeps happening.
This provides no benefit at all.
Yeah. This will not help me achieve my means. Just throws it.
So what your plan is now to bring Raw One and not use Raw One as a distraction?
Yeah. I wouldn't say not use it as a distraction, but not initially use it as a distraction.
Not yet.
There is always the opportunity to take Raw One down with us and leave them at the door. And then maybe we could force them into a bottleneck where the door is. and they'll get a surprise when they come across our pet.
Yeah.
Very well.
It's a thought.
Well, do
Thinking is
you
good.
make your way into
Yeah, we'll
making your way
we'll let
into?
Aurora lead the way.
Mhm.
Yep. Can we stealth it?
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely try. Yeah.
Ugh.
Make agility tests.
Now, can I leverage for a boon here because of Sly's background as a pickpocket?
Yes. In fact, both Sly and Aurora can get boons should they want. In
And
fact, you
I
could probably
might be
get
shooting.
two boons because you can use trickery.
Ooh.
Oh,
a-
right.
Can I-
Trickery. I always forget about trickery.
Sam, do
Oh,
I
okay.
roll with the Bane because of Orm's mail armor? Or is that not how it works?
I
I'll
don't
double
think so.
check. I don't think it's got to the point where you have to roll. I
Okay,
think if you
it's
were
not
like
heavy
you
enough.
didn't have, just check. Oh, actually, it is
It's mail.
It is heavy enough
It's
that you'll be
medium
getting. You need to have a higher strength to not get a penalty. So you would be getting a penalty, yeah.
Okay,
Um,
I had a
yeah.
feeling. I'll roll my Bane then. That's a bad Bane.
Oh, that's really bad.
Oh. Oh.
Woo!
Oh.
-2. Wait, no, 3.
Okay.
Wait, that doesn't make sense.
It didn't.
-1.
I got a pain. Yeah, so Sorry's actually
Yeah, no,
quite good
that's-
at stealth because they have high agility.
Yeah, Sorry's agility is actually
Yeah.
not bad. So,
Yeah,
but the Bane, yeah.
Bane sucks.
And Roar also isn't being stealthy. So neither Sorry nor Roar are being particularly quiet. I mean, they're trying. but they're not.
Can it be because Sorry is like muttering under their breath more of their poetry? Like they're trying to wrap their head around everything they've been talking about with the others, and they're like,
Yeah.
would you go and be safe, or would you return and be safe? I don't understand. And
At the
Some
moment,
rogues are like,
we're not
"Shut
feeling very
up."
safe at all.
yeah, exactly.
you
Just
doing?
the whole time, just what is safe? Am I safe? Who is safe?
No, not right now. No. Oh.
Why are you doing this to me?
Oh.
I want the two people who have succeeded. So can you make perception checks for me?
Okay. So yeah, I got an 11, so that's a success, right?
I forget how to do this.
Just make you want to put
nope, that's
both
not
of
how
you
you'd roll.
should add 1 to the modifier where it says modifier. Just make that 1 and then roll intelligence.
I think as
So
a
the bottom-
changeling,
Oh,
I
I
have an
get-
extra +1.
Yeah,
I
so that's
get
why in the
2.
bottom left corner where it says
Okay.
modifier, you want to to make that 1, and they'll just add to whatever the roll is.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
both successful. So as you are Sorry is muttering to himself and not paying too much attention, but Aurora and Sly both you managed to as you're walking, you see sort of like a slight glint catching the last bits of light as you go in, and you see a tripwire that's been laid across this this sort of tunnel that you're going through. So you've gone in, and there's a sort of a bit of a tunnel going back towards where the farmhouse is, but roughly in this roughly sort of halfway, you can see this because you've all got, I believe you've all have shadow sight, so you can see this, like you catch the side of this tiny little like wire, very very thin, but you do both see it before you get too close.
I'm
Hold
gonna
there.
stop. Sorry. And say, see this? This is not safe.
No. Do you want me to kill it? And I hold up my morning star.
Don't touch it. No, 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 no. No.
Very well. What do
I
you
look
do?
at Aurora and I say, Candle, do you have any expertise in disarming this kind of contraption?
I don't think so.
Let me have a look at professions.
I do not.
Yeah, I don't think any.
Yeah,
I
neither
don't
of you are
think
really
either of us
that kind of
do.
rogue.
I've been a
No.
pickpocket and a fence, but not a trap disarmer.
Yeah.
No.
So
Should we
is there
step over it?
yeah, is it like
So-
easy enough for us to step over or go around to get?
You won't be able to go around. It's across the entire
Okay.
sort of tunnel,
Mhm.
which it's wide enough that you can walk sort of you can easily walk two abreast with still have a decent amount of room between you, and obviously Raw can fit as well. You could try and disarm it. You can use trickery to get a boon as rogues, but yeah, now that you know it's there, you can also just sort of be careful to step over it, and
I
should
think
be
it was
fine, like
wishful thinking that they wouldn't have found this entrance. But if we step over it carefully, perhaps we won't alert them that we've come in.
Yeah.
Sam, is there any sign of what the tripwire is attached to?
Make a another perception check to sort of examine it more closely.
Sure. 12.
There's nothing mechanical it seems to be attached to, but on one of the sort of pegs, I guess, that this tripwire has been attached to, there does seem to be a slight kind of faint magical shimmer almost. So it seems that it's attached to some
a
spell
magical
of some kind.
trap. Even better.
So it does look like it definitely looks like it's an impromptu thing. Like it's sort of like they've set up something a bit ad hoc, but it's ad hoc that used magic. So
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not keen to try and disable a magical trap. Let's just step over it.
Let's step over this. Yes.
Yeah, that's easily done. Need to be a bit sort of careful with Raw, but yeah,
we'll like
it's
help
very
their
doable.
paws.
Each like gently lift a paw over mechanical. Like, you're doing it. You're doing it.
You can make it to the rest of the way. That you keep an eye out for more of these like tripwires, and there's no others that you see, and then you get to what looks like a dead end. But Aurora, that this leads into a kind of a storage area. So there's sort of shelves within, and that there's where there's like a hidden latch that will slide one of the shelves to the side and allow you to sort of open. It opens like out like a door, and so you can get into the room.
Okay. So, do I know whether or not the door opens smoothly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, think about it. It's probably like two
do
shelves. It's like a double door that sort of opens out, and it opens into the room because it needs to be wide enough, obviously, to fit stuff through it.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we'll
Then
try
I'll
and
just
open the doors quietly.
Open the doors.
Yeah, and
quietly.
it's a kind of clever mechanism. So it all sort of like there's probably like a counterweight hidden within it all. So it all sort of just opens really smoothly. But first thing that happens as soon as you open that door, you are just assaulted by this rank smell of just like rot and filth, essentially.
Oh. Well, that's
I'm
not
just
is
immediately
good.
going
Candle.
to.
I should probably point out isn't what it was like when you left.
Yes,
But it is.
I'm going
it's
to
sort of enough
immediately
that
take cover behind Raw.
yeah, it's probably enough that you all sort of retch a little bit. But as you sort of recover, there doesn't actually seem to be anything in this room that would be doing that. It seems to be coming from further within the building. This smell.
This was not like this when I left.
Yes. Well,
This is so. Given that Sari has been through a lot of battle in their short life, do they recognize this as a stench of death and decay? Is this the smell of blood, or is it can I sort of see if I can discern that it's a familiar sort of terrible stench, having come from a lot of terrible stenches?
It's sort of like it's the smell of like the battlefield, or like but not like recent. Like it's had time to linger, and so it's got that smell of there was blood, there was death, but now there's also rot and obviously defecation from when people had died, and it's all just that sort of had time to sort of linger, and no one had cleared up bodies or anything, and then
Sari turns to Aurora. When did you leave? What state did you leave them in?
I left at the beginning of all of this, before any of this happened.
How many days?
It's close to a week at this point, so probably sort of 5-6 days.
I
Does
don't
it
think we'll
smell-
be finding anyone alive.
I'm a healer. Does it smell like there's illness? Like sick people. Does it smell like there are any sick people?
No, it doesn't have that smell. But I guess it's more like old death. With when things have started to rot.
right. Well, I suppose we'd better do our due diligence and make sure there's nobody left. But I hope you agree, Candle, that the fire I mentioned is looking more and more appealing.
Yes.
This
yes,
is
you are
place to
right.
be burnt.
It will have to be.
So this is a sort of smaller storage area, but it does lead into kind of like a loading space. So the other two probably won't know, but to give sort of a bit of context, you would be not directly under the farmhouse. You're off to the side, and there's a sort of like a loading or sort of a gathering area through the door. And this is a space for small goods, but it's primarily for the exit. But it's sort of been given a role to sort of hide the fact that it is also an exit from the facility.
I'm just going to absentmindedly. Oh.
No, you go for it.
I'm just going to absentmindedly reach up into my hair and take out a small green frog. And just,
Is it another pet? How many pets have we got?
Yay! I was waiting for that.
say,
Yes.
Phillips, this is horrible.
It sort of croaks reassuringly at you, I guess.
Perhaps try to keep it quiet if we're going to infiltrate.
My frog knows what he's doing.
I think Sari comes in really close and is deeply fascinated by it. What is that?
This is not a demon.
No, it's
That
too
was his
pretty.
next question. Hey, their next question.
Is it magic?
No, it's Philip.
It's a Philip.
Yes.
I like Philips. And then I think Sorry will just make their way towards the next store and prep their weapon, ready to.
Yep.
Getting itchy to smash some skulls. Smash some evil.
The smell is definitely stronger at the door.
Okay.
Is there a keyhole?
Yeah.
Can I look through it?
Sure.
And hopefully not get stabbed in the eye?
You can hope that, yes.
Can. What would I see in my place?
You look through the keyhole, and you kind of almost recoil as you look through, because there's kind of like, on the other side is a short distance away, there's the sort of like a wall. So this is this room is like a little off to the side, so there's a wall, and then you sort of turn to the left, and then there's the larger sort of gathering loading area. And on the wall, you can't make out too much details through the keyhole, but it does look like there's, what you can see is bits of people, essentially, like organs and limbs, and blood and just fecal matters just been covering this wall. And I'm going to need you to make a will check with a bane.
That would be two
which
banes.
I think actually for Aurora is 2 banes.
Yeah. Oh, I think I just did that wrong.
No, that's right.
No, you rolled the bane.
It keeps the highest one.
Okay.
Yeah, you kind of stumble back.
What did I just do?
You stumble back from this. You're going to gain an insanity. So add 1 insanity to your thing. You are frightened for, I think, just a round. But yeah, you sort of stumble back in horror and trying to sort of collect yourself. You haven't seen anything like that before. And you weren't prepared.
Place?
It definitely has been placed, and it seemed to have been, you couldn't get a good view of it, but it definitely looks deliberate.
Right.
I think quite impetuously, I think Sorry reacting to Aurora stumbling back from the door is going to attempt to swing it open.
Yeah, it's not locked.
And cool, and just sort of run inside with their morning star out, like overwhelmed, like what is it? Like, can I kill it?
So you burst through this room, and that stench again is just overwhelming again. It's like another wave. And you're going to now need to make a will check, though without the bane, because you were slightly more prepared. Because what you see is on this wall, it is, like I said, bits of body parts and organs, entrails. They've smeared it with blood and fecal matter. But what you realize is what they've actually done is it's done in a way, and I guess I'm just going to double, and because Sorry they can read, right? Yes, they can read common.
Yeah, common, yeah.
Yeah. In common, the way they've placed it, it actually it spells out on this wall, it just says welcome back. In like,
that's intense.
They've used like the entrails to do that, and then
nope, 8.
Yeah, you weren't. You again. You also just sort of like recoil, and you take that insanity, and you are now afraid for a round.
I think
Got it.
Sly's response to Aurora like shrinking back from the door is to just look at them and go, "This is why they send the experienced agents." And they just turn around and they see Sorry standing in the middle of this carnage. I presume I also need to make a will save.
Yes, without the bane.
Yeah, not good.
No, none of you.
We
None of you
all
are
are.
prepared for this. Just
We oh
Oh my! What a creative artwork.
so I don't.
I'm
So we're
holding
not
Phil
given that.
and covering his eyes.
Oh,
Given that we're not in combat, none of the you are able to get over the fear relatively quickly because it is only for a round.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you recover, you're able to sort of pull yourself together and you sort of How do you
Sam,
proceed?
Is it fairly easy to deduce how many people's bodies were used in this mosaic?
No, many though. Like it's covering like this full wall section. But you could, with an uneducated guess, like could be anywhere from like 3 or 4 to maybe twice that.
Yeah.
Depending on
So,
depending on how like efficient they were with their
Sure.
the usage of stuff.
Aurora,
Is
you
there
said
anyone I
there were
know?
yeah, that's a good question.
There isn't enough. It's not done in such a way that because it's mainly like offal.
Oh.
And so there's not like
Truly awful.
enough recognizable.
Bouncing back from that insanity.
Yeah. It's not recognizable as who they would have come from.
Aurora, you said there were about a dozen of you?
There were.
Hard to tell, but this doesn't quite add up to a dozen bodies, I don't think. Maybe we press
How
forward
can you
just
tell?
in case. Number of fingers.
I mean, Aurora, if you wanted to, you could potentially probably make an intellect roll to use your healer with your healing knowledge to try and get a closer guess to the number of people that this would have at least been.
I will do this thing.
Yeah, so as you sort of like you get over the shock and horror, and you're able to sort of look at it with more of a clinical sort of medical eye, you can do a count of like a body only has X number of this organ, so how many of those are there, and you can work out this is probably from about 6 people.
Unless they killed some of their own. There are 6 here.
Sorry is gonna sort of coming. They've been like I think dead still in their insanity. They're gonna walk forward towards the wall and just gently cut the tip of their finger and draw the snake eating its tail, basically just a circle with like a head on the wall, and just put their hand there, sort of saying a silent prayer to carry those souls on in their journey, their mortal journey.
Yeah.
Sam, to those of us who don't read, does it still look like letters? I mean, not being able to read doesn't mean we don't know what letters look like, right?
You'd recognize it as writing, that it's definitely designed to say something, but you without being able to read, you won't know what that says. So,
do you read Aurora? Because I know Sly doesn't. No. Yeah.
No.
No, I don't
if
think
you say I
either
think
of you-
sorry, then just says very softly under their breath, "Welcome back."
It's quite the message.
And I think sorry is quite kind of really upset, having a little bit of a moment.
Hmm. I mean, sorry hasn't been on
Aurora-
a mission where they've had to deal with, and this Sly has.
Yeah,
Sly was
I think
in the
sorry.
basement cave, and this is definitely different. But it's like both Sorry and Aurora haven't had to confront the sort of the more awful things that other agents sometimes come
No,
across.
and I think sorry knows that they've joined the compact to try and atone for their own sins in the fighting pits and that kind of thing, and to look at this violence again and realize they didn't help and they couldn't fix it before it happened. I think that's quite a blow for them.
Yeah.
But I think then they step away and they're like really purposefully moving towards the next door, like not listening to just like
There's not really a next door. You sort of turn the corner and leads into a relatively open space.
okay. Sorry is just pushing forward.
Aurora's staying back and she's definitely shivering.
Yeah.
Sort of like scared animals shiver, the sort of just gentle quiver.
Oh.
So, is there no way forward? Is that what you're saying, Sam? Like this is the
No. You sort of like you open you've opened this door, and then directly in front of you is this wall with just this horror on it. But then to the left there is a sort of an open sort of muster area, loading sort of dock combination thing. And as you sort of recovering, so maybe you can hear sort of like the sounds of. Sounds like there's like maybe a couple of people sort of like going through something or like, rummaging essentially.
And I assume like we know from what Aurora would have told us that this is sort of the area where information was kept.
Yeah, you'd have a rough idea from both the mission brief and just from Aurora being able to fill you in.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to sneak in there.
Yeah, make a agility, and with a boon. I was gonna say you probably use trickery as well to get an extra boon, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I always
fine.
forget about that. I'm not used to playing the rogue.
Yeah. It's particularly important. Essentially with rogues because it's once per turn, but like out of combat, it just means like every challenge roll you make will have a boon.
Well, then it's a 24.
But you are able to sort of like, and as you sort of turn the corner, it does look like this place has been thoroughly turned over. They've been sort of, but there is a small group of maybe 4 people, and they are just sort of going through like boxes and just tossing them aside and going through more boxes, and they're throwing like produce and various sundries and just whatever was in this room. They're just sort of like going through everything to try and find out what, and they seem to be intent on looking for something, and that they're also not finding it.
There's no sign of any prisoners.
Was this the space that I was walking towards as well? Sorry, was walking towards.
It would be this is the immediate next area.
Yeah, sorry wasn't stealthy. Sorry was like looking for blood. Yeah,
Well,
sorry
we'll say that Sly went around while you were doing the Ouroboros on the wall, and then so Sly sort of come around, seen this, and then Sorry just sort of like stomps through, and but if you also see,
but I mean, I'll see Sly. So if you, I don't know, give me any sort of signal, then that might change Sorry's trajectory. But if not, I'll stomp on him.
I mean,
there's no sign of prisoners.
To look, but sorry.
There's no sign of prisoners. There's these 4 people. 3 of them are going through these boxes, and 1 seems to be overseeing. And what is immediately apparent is these people are filthy, absolutely filthy. Um,
Mm.
it looks like they've been like covering themselves in blood and shit and whatever else, mud maybe. It's on their clothes, it's on their face, it's just all over them.
Well,
Can
Sly's
I
gonna try and
stealth around the corner and come with them because I don't want to be left behind?
yeah.
Sure. You can make an agility roll as well, with I guess 2 boons with trickery. So yeah, you get round. So both Sly and Aurora sort of get around without being noticed.
I think
Yeah.
Sly starts sneaking towards the one that seems to be in charge, but they don't look back. So I imagine Sorry just stomps into the room.
Yeah, I think Sorry's gonna. Sorry. Literally, sorry. I think
No, it's great.
No.
Sorry's gonna walk in and like see anything and just be like, "Roar!" and like start swinging their Morning Star and head
Yeah.
towards skull crushing the nearest one.
So you sort of.
Do they look
Sly,
like
you
people
get-
I
you
know?
get- No. These don't. You don't recognize these people. But
Cool.
yes, Sly. You get within like probably within short range, so like 5 meters or so, or less, bit less than that. And then you're probably like right behind, like you're probably like just about to sort of stab this guy, and then
Yeah, that was the
he turns
plan.
around to hear this thing, and like turns around and sees this this redheaded teenager with a knife, and he's just like ah! And then we kind of pause and jump into initiative, or combat, I guess. We don't really do. Shadows of the Demon Lord doesn't do initiative. If you're new to the show, you have fast rounds and slow rounds. So players always go first. So if you announce that you have, if you announce that you want to go on a fast round, you just go. There's no set order. If you go in a fast round, you get to do an action or a movement. If you're on the slow round, you get to do both action and movement. And remember, if you want Roll 1 to do something, someone has to tell Roll 1 to do something. But speaking is giving an order would be a free action.
Okay.
And Roll 1 will go sort of after the player characters, but before the NPCs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just immediately want to stab this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I? I'm just gonna do that.
And you're gonna use trickery for that.
I will use trickery on this. And now attacking with
Cool.
my long knife is a finesse weapon, right? So I can use agility.
Yes, you can. Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's only a 9.
Ooh, no. He's not wearing any armor whatsoever. But he, in this shock, he sort of manages to just jerk back enough that it throws off your shot, and the knife misses.
Well, having said that, how far away is Sorry from? Is this the nearest guy? The nearest?
You could probably charge either the guy that just avoided, or one of the people who's was rummaging through these supplies.
I sort of imagine I'm like on the far side of the room, but where the
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean
I'm
it's
gonna
it's a big space in regards to where you just were, but it's still maybe only like 15 by 15 meters. So Sorry is definitely can charge into it. Into his,
Sweet. I'm going to charge the
form.
guy that just dodged, which means I'll take a Bane, but I would usually have a boon, so they cancel out, and it'll be a straight
You get
roll.
a Bane from the armor as well, so you're getting a Bane. You're encumbered by the armor. So,
I didn't realize it was on everything. Oh. I probably wouldn't have worn it.
because you need
alright.
strength 13 to get.
We can that's probably on me. I thought Sorry had a higher strength, so we can change it to, you can see instead of wearing the armor, he's wore heavy leather. If you would like,
Well,
and that will.
No, you know what? I've made a choice. I think Sorry is maybe really trying to, is fighting a little bit above their belt. They're like, I will wear this armor.
I mean,
and I will
it gives him like it. Instead of having like a 14 defense, you have a 16 defense. So it's kind of the trade-off you're going on there.
Yeah. All right. So I'll roll my Bane. Oh, that's not a good Bane. All right. Let's roll high then. Oh wait, sorry, wrong thing. I just rolled agility. Wrong thing. Sorry.
I think
So I'll do it
agility is
again.
the same.
Yeah.
You're
the-
doing
the
oh, yeah,
strength
you're
of
right, it
the
is.
strength.
So
Oh,
it comes
yeah,
to
so that's
10.
fine. You still hit this guy.
Oh, sweet.
So
All right. Well, let's swing that Morning Star, shall we? For 6 damage.
Yeah.
hit him with this heavy blow, and he sort of doubles over a bit, but is able to sort of recover somewhat.
All right. That was me being violent. And I think, you said sort of speaking is free. Can I just yell, Raw one, come! Like really loud, like
Yeah.
a roar.
Yeah.
This orc roar going on.
I love that it sounds like a battle cry that you're like, roar!
One!
You're actually saying the
Oh!
word, not
One.
just like,
Actually, yeah, I roar one, come.
Yeah.
That's all I yell.
Yeah, no, that is entirely okay. Or Aurora, are you doing anything in the fast round, or are you waiting for the slow round?
Yep. What's the range on a sling?
I believe it's medium. Yes, medium.
I would like to hit
Medium
someone with my
medium
sling.
is about 20 meters, so you're within range of any of them.
Great. I would like to do this. Trickery. Does that mean I get a boon?
Yes, and you'll do an extra d6 damage.
Ooh.
And who are you targeting?
The one that is already hit.
Okay, yes.
Yes. So
you
it's
hit,
16. And
Roll damage.
4 damage.
So as he's trying to recover, he sort of stands up, and then this stone just like cracks him across the head, and he stumbles back even a bit further, and is now just bleeding from the temple. But he just starts laughing.
Oh, we've got a
That's
cabin
not-
fever situation.
This is a
and
very
as
unusual response.
as these no, wait, we got Raw. Sorry, I was skipping ahead. Yeah, Raw one charges into the group of these three, into the closest of the three that was on the ground, and Raw one will strike. And Raw one essentially like barrels over one of the people who was on the ground, and then just sort of like rears up on its hind legs and just comes down and just bam, just slams on top on its back and head and just crushes in, and just pulps one of the people who was rummaging.
Raw one is insane. I feel like Sorry just lowers that looks at the Morning Star like, oh, all right.
Yeah, I don't think that we haven't actually seen, we didn't get to see Raw one in combat last time. We just got to see Raw one be impressive and draw attention. But no, we haven't actually seen Raw one attack something, and yeah, it just blitzed this guy.
Gee whiz. Blender, love it.
But the other at this point, the other two, they've sort of turned around and they're standing up, and they're not responding with as much shock as you might expect from this kind of just this blitz that you've just done. In fact, there's clearly like their eyes kind of like there's that spark of madness in there, and they're just grinning while the supervisor is more and more their laughter gets manic. And the one that was standing originally sort of steps back slightly, not he still sort of hasn't moved, but he starts just chanting essentially, and then just like holds out his hand, and this blast of fire shoots out.
Oh yay!
And so I'm gonna need Sly and Sorry and Raw One are all going to make agility challenge rolls.
Does Blast of Fire hit the the other
not good.
baddies?
No, they're a bit behind him.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, because we've just got a corpse with us now, don't we? Yeah, I got a 7.
Right. I don't think any of us succeeded.
Yeah, no, you all take 13 damage.
Whoa!
What?
Oh.
I
Okay.
think. Just wait. When can I use catch your breath? I think I can do it at any time, can't I?
It is a triggered action, yes.
Triggered
so you can
action.
do it
Yeah, I'm going to heal
whenever you want.
damage equal to my healing rate right now, and my healing rate is 4, so that takes me down to 9 wounds, 9 damage.
So I'm now on 2 health. So that's not good.
That's
to
less
know.
than
The
great.
real question I should have asked Sam is, I mean, they were rooting through boxes and papers and stuff. Does the room catch fire?
Oh.
Not the room, but bits of like the stuff that they've thrown away does like just burst, but not in a way that's going to like. There's not enough. It's not like enough, and it's it's mostly it's underground. It's mostly sort of stone. The building itself is the room itself is mostly sort of stone. But yeah, some of these like papers and stuff that they were throwing around, and some of the supplies do just sort of catch fire and start to burn. The other two kind of have sort of stood up, and they kind of slowly draw, like one of them's got like a rusty hatchet, the other one's got like a sickle, and they both sort of just turn towards Raw One, and they both start like trying to lay into the poor dear.
No.
Double check what they actually are, what they actually roll.
Leave our precious mechanical lion alone.
Roll a 0.
Please.
All right.
Please roll negative numbers.
Ooh.
You're using our character sheets against us, Sam.
Yep, that's
I'm
cruel.
using a character sheet
cruel.
against you.
Oh no.
Oh no. I'm
But
just
one
seeing
of
these
them
numbers
is
tick
able
over.
one of them is able to get a pretty firm strike in on Raw One, but the other not so much. He just sort of glances off its metallic hide. But Raw One is pretty sturdy. Like Raw One can take a beating.
Good, because we can.
With that, we move to the top of the round.
I
Okay,
hate magic. And I want to stab that guy in the eye.
Do it.
I'm gonna trickery this guy. No bad rolls, please. Oh, 11?
Ooh, you hit. That's a hit.
All right.
Yay.
I'm gonna,
And you get because Sly has backstab, you get extra even more dice.
I'm gonna do the trickery and backstab damage.
Yes.
All right. 9 damage.
Yeah, you just embed that knife through his eye.
Oh.
Yeah, and this is like a long knife as well. It's like easily like over.
This is like
so it just goes like all the way through and out.
Yeah, it's not like it's a specially designed combat knife, and it's this sort of quite quick, and yeah, you just hilt deep into the eye, which doesn't immediately stop the laughter, but does eventually, and he just slumps, and the body just crumples to the ground.
Can I use my turn? Is the other guy next to us now? Because he came over to attack Raw One, correct?
He's within reach, yeah.
I want to try and grab him. Sort of, and
sure.
use the grab action and see if I can sort of restrain him. So I believe that's a strength or agility attack roll against the target's agility. I'm going to choose strength, even though they're pretty much the same for me.
Basically the same, yeah.
Yeah. Is this rolled with a Bane, though?
Basically, all your attacks and challenges that use... I'll double check.
Yeah, it's all strength and agility rolls have a Bane from the armor.
Okay. All right. This might screw me over entirely,
all
but
strength and agility, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's a 4. That sucks. And then I'm gonna roll. Come on, roll high for once. Oh my god, I'm rolling so low today. Damn,
No,
6.
No.
You don't manage to get purchased.
Slippery because of my encumbering armor. Damn, son.
Wait,
right,
does the grab action have a natural Bane? Because you get a natural boon, right, for being a warrior?
No, I don't think I get a natural boon because it's not an attack.
A grab is an attribute attack, so does that count, Sam?
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, does that count?
Yeah, so no, you would roll that. Your boon would cancel. I'll double check what warriors. If it's just weapon attacks, or if it is also...
Oh yeah, it may say weapon attack.
No, the boon is when you attack with a weapon. So
yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, okay. Thanks for trying, though.
Yeah.
Damn this weapon! Damn this armor! We joked that it would screw us over, and it is legitimately screwing me over.
I mean,
Can't be trusted.
Hopefully, you'll come across a someone who actually just uses weapons, and you'll be much better off. Aurora, are you going in the fast round, or are you waiting for the slow?
Can you explain to me how the healer kit works, or how healing works?
Can I do that? Everyone who's reached the novice path of level 1 or higher will have. Magicians are a bit different. So the novice paths all have sort of an inbuilt healing ability that will, based on whatever that path is. So as we saw, Sorry could, as a warrior, can reflexively use their healing ability, and that gets you whatever your healing rating is back in health. The healer's kit is you can use it up to 6 times, and I think it really only recovers like 1 health.
Yeah, it gives you
so it's better
1 HP.
It gives 1 HP back, but it's more for like bringing people back when they've gone become incapacitated.
Right. Okay.
And then you also all have a healing potion, which when you drink, at the end of the round that you drink it, will return health equal to your healing rate.
Right. Okay. I mean, none of that's for me because I'm fine. I was thinking more about Sly.
Combat healing is not very effective in this game.
It's not helpful. Okay. In that case, who's alive? Who have we got? What have we got? What's
There's
left?
Still 2 of these
left, right?
of these filth-covered people who are trying to avenge their fallen friend against Raw 1. So there's still those 2.
Aurora's going to take a slow action.
Okay. Well, in that case, Raw 1 will then go. And will... we'll just like sort of almost like backhands one of them across the room. And that it just sort of like this just tumbles like a rag doll and goes limp. And then
I have to say, Zane's role playing of Raw 1 as a silent robot is really good today.
Nailing it, Zane. Nailing it.
He's doing great things. The other one just lets out this crazed scream and continues to try and flail at Raw 1. Unsuccessfully. He's actually he almost looks like he's hurting himself. He's doing this he's doing himself harm more than he's doing the lion harm.
Oh.
Which leads us to the slow action. So Aurora, what would you like to do?
my running close and see if I can stab him through the eye. That looked really effective.
Turns out their weakness is knives through the eye. Yes, they are weak to that. You get a boon. So
but not,
just roll it. Don't roll the boon. Roll the
I
d6. Just roll a d6 and we'll see what happens. Ooh, not enough. No. But we are at the top of the round.
It seems like a good idea.
You are all basically within striking range of this one guy, and he's mainly focused on roll one. He's just wildly flailing this hatchet at roll one to not a huge amount of success.
Sly wants to just say, disengage, roll one. Sorry, taken prisoner. And then Sly's going to use their nimble recovery to disengage and heal their healing rate. So it lets me move half my speed without triggering attacks. So I just move,
not a problem.
Move back out of the room and heal for 3.
Awesome.
Sorry, it's going to be like,
oh,
I can do this, and attempt to grab them again with a bane.
I'm gonna give you a boon because he's basically surrounded. So just roll a straight strength roll.
Okay. Please be better. Oh my gosh, I've not rolled well all night.
You're able to sort of just grab this guy, and he is now restrained, though he just continues to struggle and scream.
Cool.
Can I slap him?
Yes. He is slapped.
Thank you.
It does not calm him down.
That's not the intention.
Yes.
I think Sorry's starting to whisper prayers.
Is the intention to harm?
Wailing ear.
The intention is almost to, it's to scratch him with my nails.
Oof.
Want to claw him.
Alrighty. He's not in a position to resist, so he takes that damage, but he is still flailing against Sorry, and he does. He pulls free. I mean, he is, like I said, he's covered in filth, and with the strength of madness, he is able to wrench himself free, and he just starts now again clawing at roll one. He doesn't even look like he's paying attention to the other 3. He's just hitting roll one.
Okay, give me a second. I need to look at
roll one. Just sort of stands there passively.
I want to attempt. Can I attempt a knockdown?
Oh.
You can try and just knock him unconscious if you would like.
Oh yeah, if I could knock him unconscious, that'd be great.
That's just a regular attack, and you just if you can, instead of killing him, you just knock him unconscious.
Cool. Shall I roll with a bane on that one? Or
if you roll it, you attack with a weapon, so you get to.
Oh yeah, you're right. It balances out. Okay, a 13.
Roll damage.
Oh, that was my bow. Anyway, whatever.
So 7 damage. He passes out. You just brain him.
That feels like the longest and most effort. I feel like I just see Sorry in this 2 big armor being fumbling around and being like, I thought this would be cool. And
especially because the armor was designed for someone else. Potentially, it's like the refitting isn't done quite right. So it's like it's binding not in the wrong places.
I'm gonna pull out some. I'm assuming I have rope in my backpack because that was in the basic, wasn't it?
Yes.
There's some sort of rope.
Yeah. If you click the little star on where it says backpack,
that's right.
It'll say what's in the backpack, and it should be I think it's 20 meters
coil
of
rope
or something like that. It's
correct.
Yeah.
Can I uncoil, and tie away this crazy person?
It's
sweet.
Very doable.
Sly is in the corner of the room, swigging a healing potion, and they say, "It seems as if the poor wretches have gone mad."
Why are we keeping them alive?
Well,
I thought
I think
it might have some information.
exactly. Clever. Can I please search the bodies of the others that have fallen to see if there's any hints of who they're aligned with, or letters or instructions on their filthy, bloodied clothing?
They all just have like, you know, nothing like identification. They're just, it looks like they've got them some things which might be sort of like of personal value essentially, but there's mostly it's just like these sort of rusted and decrepit weapons. They're all wearing, you know, filthy clothes, and they're all, as I said, also covered in filth.
The filth on them, is it the same filth as what's on the walls?
I mean, in the sense that it's blood and shit, yes.
Cool.
But, you know, it's not like you'd be like, that's the same blood and shit. It's not. It's like, you don't have that. It's not that distinct.
Okay.
Can I... Sorry, I'm just thinking, I'm trying to work out... I don't have any way of sort of detecting if is there something specific that made them go crazy here, or if they were just crazy and the coming in. I don't have like any sort of detect magic. So, I guess Sorry's going to check the boxes, the things they were rummaging in immediately, and just see if they can identify anything of note that they were looking at. Although I imagine it might just be a scattered mess.
None of it's any of the sort of information that you would be here to do. Like there might be like manifests or something, but it's none of it's the sensitive information you hear. That would be locked away.
Okay. Can I slap our little hostage to wake them up? Attempt to wake them up?
Yeah.
Slap them asleep, slap them awake.
I'm awake! Because that's how it works. Slap on, slap off. Slap on, slap off. Yeah, I think Sorry wants to wake them up, but then is like, I don't know how to talk to people. And looks at both of like Sly and Aurora.
He wakes up and he's just sort of grinning up at you.
Who sent you? Is that what I should say? Yes. Who sent you?
How are you? Are you sort of trying to be threatening? Are you trying to?
I think at
how are
first,
you trying to get him to?
Sorry doesn't really know how to interrogate. So at first, I think Sorry is just like that dry. Like, who sent you?
Make a will roll.
Cool. I've got Will coming out. No, I don't. Lol. All right, Will. Okay, not terrible. 11.
No, he sort of looks at you and he's just like, I was sent from above, from the Lord of all, from him that comes back, him who returns, him who will end you.
Him has a name, maybe? Can I have him's name?
He is beyond names. He is the Lord of all. He is beyond petty concerns. We are all filth in his eyes. We just hope that we are worthy, that he will cleanse the world.
Okay. So he sent you, but
take Philip out of my hair. And just say, Philip, he's met you.
That's the twist. Philip is an elder.
Yeah, and I think Sorry turns to you and he's like, Philip, this was Philip's doing? Just mortified for a brief moment. I'm going to turn back to the hostage and say, where you said from above, but where did you come from? Him is up there, you is here, but where did you physically come from?
he's just sort of straining against these bindings at this point.
I think as I see him strain, I'm going to raise my Morning Star, like, don't make me do it.
When he sees this, he's actually it looks like he's almost like he's entirely. You've found him quite tight. He's incredibly unsuccessful, but he's looking like he's straining to the point where he's probably almost going to dislocate his arms in the effort.
Darling, don't do that.
He's just like, no. And he sort of when he sees you, threatening with his weapon, he's like, "Yes, do it. Send me to him. Let me join his embrace. Send me."
What if I want to come too?
You are not worthy.
How do I become worthy?
You have already been judged.
By him?
At this point, he is actually sort of staring at your horns and legs when he makes that point. What were you saying, Jamie?
So Sly's actually wasn't paying that much attention because they were like rummaging through the stuff looking for anything of value. But at that, they come over and they're like, well, it seems that you've outlived your usefulness, almost. And they look at, Sly looks at their two companions and says, hate to do it, but really no choice. And there's like this rippling effect of like earth and twigs cascading down Sly's body as they turn into the person. The
yeah.
And they say, all right, you can kill him now.
He's a bit he's a bit taken aback about that, but then as he sees the morning, assuming, sorry, just do you kill him or do you?
I think yeah, just with may Astrid's words guide you and foul evil, because they know that it's just evil, that they're evil and what they are pursuing is evil. So yeah, just conk out, smash their skull.
It's the first time you've seen him since combat started be calm, and you just cave in his skull.
Cool. That's not at all terrifying.
Sam, was there anything of value amongst these boxes and crates that they were rummaging through?
Not particularly.
No, it's all just rubbish. All right. Well,
you're a chain.
It seems to be like this is like the dregs of what was left in this room, and it's more sort of like just in case that they probably would be going through it rather than any actual expectation of finding something.
Yeah. I look up at Aurora and I say, yes, rather a helpful talent when you're a master infiltrator. And they just like dip their hands into the blood of the guy that they stabbed in the face and just start smearing it on their face.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because you get his appearance, not his filth.
Oh.
Yeah.
You also don't get his clothes.
Yeah, remember that tricky problem. So you're gonna have to take those off and
so if you want to complete the look, you're gonna have to wear the rag,
I think they're just going for a moment, like a facsimile. They're not gonna get into the dirty, shitty clothes. They're just gonna put a bit of blood on their face.
Yeah.
No, they go. I put a bit of blood on their face and their clothes and hope that it will fool someone for like that momentary long enough to get the upper hand. It's not.
Yeah. Aurora, you wouldn't have known that Sly is a changeling, but at the same time, you are aware of changelings. You're very, very familiar with the concept of changelings. So.
Oh yes.
Yes. Do you wish to proceed?
It doesn't look as if this location has the information we need to destroy. Candle, where to? And I just look at Aurora.
So Aurora, you know that the next is there's sort of like there's two other exits from this room. One leads into the kind of like the barracks area where people would sleep, sort of that setup. And the other one leads into a kind of common area, and then from the common area, there'd be a sort of essentially a vault, but not a vault in that sense. It's more not like a big steel door or something like that. It'd be more magically protected than anything else. But that's where any information that you are here to retrieve or destroy would have been kept.
Yeah.
So those are
Okay.
where.
It seems as though the people that were here don't know what they're looking for necessarily.
I'm not surprised. They didn't seem particularly lucid.
No. Good word.
Thank you.
We
I'm learning.
should go to. Yes. We should go to the vault.
Lead the way.
It's this way.
Yep.
So how do you want to? So it's just a door that goes down the doorway. They're all sort of double doorways leading into this sort of common area. So how do you want to approach that?
Can you said there's a doorway. Is the doorway doored?
Yeah, the doors are shut, so it'd be difficult. It's easy enough to get. So essentially, what I'm saying is, Raw 1 can get into the common area, but for the barracks, probably wouldn't be able to easily fit through the door into the barracks. The barracks it's just the sleeping quarters essentially, and that's the sleeping quarters is very sort of compact. It's it's a lot of like bunk beds and stuff. It's designed more for space saving than to be a comfortable place to sleep, so it's kind of just packed with bunk beds. But yeah, there's a double door leading into the common area if you wanted to go through that way, and it is currently shut.
Let's go through the.
Well, I was just gonna say, as you approach the door, Sly falls back and puts a hand on Raw 1's shoulder and says, "That's the last time I lead from the front."
Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking up something
Can I
about
hear
my
anything?
healing.
You can do it once per rest.
Once per
That's
rest,
what
and that
you're
doesn't
checking.
include and that's not including my ability that I just used.
No, that is the ability you just.
That's the ability.
That is my ability. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But
So I'm
we
done.
all
Once-
have one healing potion as well, so you could use that for another.
Yeah.
I might do that now.
Yes.
Yep,
Yeah,
you're right.
I
Okay,
used
I'll change
mine.
that to spent. Yeah, okay, and that takes me up my healing rate, or is it half my healing rate?
No, full healing rate.
Particular.
Full healing rate. Okay.
It's your healing
Sweet.
rate.
Thanks. Sorry, guys, for the interruption. Go ahead.
And it's not going to be a lot of healing, but you could spend time with the healing kit if you wanted to get that extra point. Probably.
Yeah.
I feel like with
what do
given
you
that
look
you've got-
like?
I'm at 8 out of 15.
I think you have 2 healing kits between the 3 of you.
Yeah, I've got
I'm at
memory.
5 out of 17, so I'm not bad.
Did you get hit again? Oh, you mean you've taken 5 damage? You're at.
Yeah, I'm
got
at
12.
5. Sorry,
Okay.
5 damage out of because I
Oh,
counted.
right. That's right. We count.
Shadows
We can-
doesn't. Dungeons and Dragons, you lose hit points. In Shadows of the Demon, you gain damage.
Gain
And
wound,
once
yeah,
it
you
reaches
gain
your
damage.
health level,
Uh,
once your damage level equals your health level, that's when you get incapacitated.
Yeah.
Um,
So
get
technically,
to
I've
half-
got 12.
if your damage level
Okay.
gets to half your health level, you are counted as injured. And something that hasn't actually come up yet, but are using the sort of the extended injury rules, but no one's actually triggered it yet. There's a bit of a
let's
roll
avoid triggering that
I
and
made.
use the healing kit.
I'm not going to make you roll for the healing kit. You've between having the kit and being a healer, you're able to sort of patch everyone up from this. You can only do it like once for this fight. Like if things change, you can probably do it again. But everyone just subtracts the damage, and you use
Subtracts
2
1
uses of the-
damage?
Yeah, so both of you, both Sly and
Sweet.
Sly can subtract
Place
damage
on the
and then
sheet for
that's-
damage.
Yeah, it's wounds, I
Actually-
believe.
Oh,
wounds.
wounds.
Sorry,
okay.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Wounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
That's actually, I might
All right.
actually, before next session, I might actually change that because, it's damage is the terminology they use in game. So
Okay.
I'll fix that up.
Once
Sweet.
we finished patching people up with duct tape and cling wrap and band-aids,
Yeah.
she's just going to
Spritz
kiss
of
the area
WD-40 for
that
roll
needs
one.
to be wrapped.
Oh.
Yeah, a spritz of WD-40.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't really have a repair kit. So, but like I said, roll one isn't even at like, I don't even think he's even at a third of his third of the way damaged. So he's just a bit scratched. And
Can I suggest? I think Starry's going to suggest going forward. I know that you're fearful, Sly, after the fire burning your face off, but you don't look like a threat. So if we come across more of them, won't you blend in? Perhaps you should be ahead of us.
Well, remembering that he's not
This is
dressed
Chloe.
like the others, so
Mm.
the illusion is probably, well, if it at best will be a momentary confusion rather than
Okay.
in all
Okay.
likelihood.
In which case, never
can
mind.
I-
I'll take the lead. Like swing my Morning Star on my shoulder. Like, yeah.
Oh, I took a step forward. I'm willing to take a step forward here
Oh, okay, cool.
and see if I can hear anything through the door or the doorway or the doored area, the undoored
Yeah,
area.
Make a perception roll.
And that's with intellect?
So it's
That's
intellect
right.
with an extra +1.
No, yes.
Yeah. And while she's listening at the door, I'll
+2
say to
for me,
sorry.
but I hear nothing.
I'll say to sorry.
no.
You go ahead. I'll hold the rear and make sure no one else comes from behind.
That's very brave. Thank you for holding my rear. And then just keeps walking forward. Words, man,
Imagine
they're hard to learn.
Sly's like, I don't know if that was on purpose or not.
I don't think
Is this-
Sorry knows whether it was on purpose or
Yeah.
not.
This is like, that's how.
Does this
that's
mean
how
we
Sly
have a
talks. So
conga
I'm gonna
line?
talk-
Yes,
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
You're sort of all, you're all sort of like, well, no, I was about to say you're all peering over each other's shoulders, but Aurora is quite short, so, and she's only like, what, like 3 or 4 foot tall, so.
All right, now are we
Yeah.
sneaking forward, or do you want me to go in first with Raw 1, guns blazing-esque, drawing fire, if there's things ahead?
I'm happy to sneak.
All right, I'm happy to also try and sneak. I'm bad at it, but I will try.
Well, Aurora, if you're taking the lead, make an agility roll with a boon. Well, 2 boons with trickery.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Oh,
Ugh, freaking
Damn.
shadow.
yes, I
Yeah.
did.
So
Yeah.
you sort of can open up this and you can peer in. And I'm going to say because you were quite so successful, you're able to sort of bring Sorry in as well without Sorry having to make that roll.
Hey, yay. You're like
Walk
holding my
on.
hand, and you're like,
Yeah.
this is how
It's like,
do it.
just follow me. It's fine. And as you go into
This
this room, it's in disarray. There is, stuff's just been thrown around. Again, it looks like someone's just turned the whole place over. But across the room to where the storage area for the more sensitive material, you see a group of people. There's again like these filthy sort of people, and they're all sort of chanting and sort of rocking back and forth. And then there's one who is in slightly nicer robes, but still overall dirty and encrusted. and this figure is holding up a staff, and there's kind of this this beam of energy hitting into something in this vault, and it's they're clearly trying to break in sort of to these information. They're doing some kind of ritual to do this. You can't see from where you are how much progress they've made, because there's sort of multiple sections. There's sort of like almost like a tiered defense given depending on the nature of whatever it is that they are trying to protect.
How large is this room? Like, how far across are they from the door that these two just went through?
It's probably a similar size to the room you just left. So about 15 meters, give or take, to get to the other side of the room. But you have sort of taken shelter behind some cut by some like I don't know.
It's a raiding party.
Oh, awesome!
Oh, we got
Josie
raided.
is raiding with a party of 4. Awesome!
Woo!
Hey.
That's really exciting. welcome to the channel. So Aurora and Sorry are able to sort of shelter under an overturned table on the other side of the room, so you're able to sort of take a bit of cover and sort of get a sense of this. The fandom thieves are here. Awesome.
Well, barring any other action, I just want to shoot that guy with the staff while we still have the element of the surprise.
Yeah, I also want to do the same.
So essentially, this will be the start of combat, but all these people in this group, and there's about it's probably like 5 people chanting, and then this guy who's what, and they're back to you. This guy sort of doing this thing, and then there's another one of these sort of the guy who's looks a bit like the supervisor from before, who's leading the chant. So this is sort of 7 people in total. And you're aiming at the guy, the more prominent figure, essentially. Is that am I correct?
I'm gonna shoot that guy.
Yeah. So we'll go into combat. They're surprised, which is an affliction, which means they just don't get a turn. This is how they handle surprise rounds. So you are able to, take your actions, move into a better position to attack, should you wish.
Yep.
Right.
I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for the slow then.
I'm gonna just shoot from the doorway with my bow.
And
I'll use trickery.
Yes, I don't know if this will give you a backstab. Double check how backstab is worded.
It just anytime you have a boon on an attack, I'm pretty sure.
But it's with basic or swift weapons, which the bow is not a basic or swift weapon.
Is it not?
It's
not basic. Are they considered different? Like it's not basic range. Got you.
I will double check that. Just I don't want to argue of dice. No, because it's basically weapons, ranged weapons, and there's shield, and there's military, swift, and heavy melee. So it's the ranged weapons aren't. You don't backstab with a ranged weapon.
Okay, that sort of makes sense. Now I rolled a 9, but I do have a fortune mark. That means I can re-roll a d20, right?
Yes.
Double check.
Yeah.
I should have.
Sly has 1 fortune.
No, damn. Yeah, I plan to like.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Put list, have a thing which actually just listed what your options with fortune were. And I seem to have.
I'm pretty sure I can re-roll a 20.
Here it is. No, you can just make it a success.
Oh, cool.
If you fail a D20
That's
roll,
even better.
You can instead make it a success.
Okay, it's a success.
Fantastic.
Yay!
So I get trickery damage, but not backstab damage, right?
Yeah, it should be the same as the long knife if you want to just roll that.
I've added the bow. That's cool.
Fantastic.
Only 4 damage, unfortunately.
Yeah, it seems like, and potentially that the robe was just a bit misleading about where the body is essentially, and so you
Right.
seem to have only clipped it. And he sort of at this point, you know, he stops what he's doing and he begins to sort of turn around while you know the others are in process of.
After I shoot the arrow, I'll pat Raw One on the shoulder and I say, "Go get him, pet."
Fantastic. Yes.
Damn.
I am also going to take a fast action to smack him with a stone in the head.
Yeah. So same deal. Make a with a. Well, you get a boon, so just roll a d6.
I get a boon. Yes.
Well, okay.
Something.
Quickly make a roll because like
maybe.
the boon will then automatically add to your next roll. So just roll anything, but you basically got a
12?
12.
We'll add
No,
that, so it's, yeah, it's a 12.
Yeah.
God, it's late.
Which is not enough. Like the notice he got from the arrow, he's able to sort of like move just enough out of the way. The rock misses.
Okay.
Sorry, what were you doing?
I'm going to take the slow, and I'm going to use that to move up into range, if possible, with the... Is it possible to reach the one that's sort of leading?
If you go slow and charge, you can do it.
You know what?
Raw
Then
takes
definitely.
Raw goes in the fast turn and moves up and isn't quite able to make the full distance, but has moved into the room. But if you move up and then charge, which will give you an extra bane on your attack, you will.
Which is already going to have a bane on it anyway. I might as well. I might as well try.
You do get the boon, so basically you'll get what you're attacking with one bane because it's alleviated by the boon from being a warrior.
Okay, all right. Well, I will attack with one, so I'll charge and attack with one bane. So I'll roll my bane. It's not great, and then I'll roll that. Oh dear God, help me these rolls. -1.
No, just sort of. He steps aside, and so as we get to the end of the round, this figure now has fully turned around, and you can see, whoever this is, they're wearing a mask that is which you couldn't see because they had a hood up. The mask is this sort of monstrous visage on this mask, some kind of almost like a howling demon is the mask that they're wearing. And they turn around, and as he does, he sort of sees you, and he's like, I was wondering when you'd come back. I'm so glad you're here. And we move to the top of the round.
Okie dokie.
Guys, pretty as hell.
Sorry, it's going to take fast.
Yeah.
And just swing that Morning Star, which I think will cancel out my bane and my boon, so I'll just do a straight roll.
Straight strength roll. Yeah.
Come on, be better. Oh my frick.
Oh my God.
6. I haven't rolled above like it.
No. There's other numbers on that D20. You are allowed to use the other numbers on the D20. It's fine.
Sorry, I think it's still just so uncomfortable in this new armor, and
he's not. He's gonna definitely need to improve. Oh, we just got a host from. Is that Cal 47? Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks.
Who else is going in the first round?
Thanks, Sarah.
Are you going fast, Aurora? Or are you going slow?
I'm gonna go slow.
All right. Oh well, I'll just try and feather him with another arrow. Yeah.
I'm gonna give that actually. I was gonna say you're gonna have it because you also now have a sorry in the way. So.
Oh, so I get a bane as well.
So we just ignore the +4 essentially.
If I roll a bane and a boon, will it do it? I don't know what it's gonna do now. Let's find out.
They would. Yeah.
I don't know.
We're about to find out. New mechanic.
If it's adding.
Oh, it rolled it with just the bane, so it should be 13 + 1, so it should be 14.
Yeah. You hit him. The arrow lands.
Yay! Finally.
Do I get the trickery damage because I used the Bane even though it got cancelled out?
Yes, the trickery, unlike backstab, trickery is just triggered by when you do it.
Okay.
Oh no, wait. I
Let me
was wrong.
double
I'm
check.
rereading it. No, you do have to have the boon to get the extra damage.
Yeah, I think it says if you
from
roll
both.
that attack with a boon.
With the boon. Yeah.
All right. Roll. He takes 3 damage.
Yeah, he doesn't seem fussed.
Oh god.
By what's happening. Anyone else going fast? Nope. Well, that just leaves Roll 1, who and you told him just to attack the leader as well. Jamie.
Yeah.
What was your instruction to Roll 1?
I said, go get him, pet.
Yes. So yeah, Roll 1 will attack this guy as well. He's actually able to, again, he's just sort of like sidestepping a lot of these attacks, but one of them does make contact and he kind of gets scratched across, and this one he actually is like, he seems to notice this one a little bit more, but he is unlike the other one, he's not as perturbed. He seems to be quite sturdy. At which point this figure he sort of locks eyes with Sorry, and he just sort of kind of quietly he sort of just leans in a little bit and he just goes, I know you. You're the orc that took my scroll. Only fair if I take something from you as well. And he sort of reaches out and he's just sort of like his hand just kind of like darts out. What is the bonus he gets on this?
No, there is no bonus. No bonus.
There is no.
It's bonusless.
No.
He reaches out to sort of grab you, but you're able to sort of dart back, and you felt this sort of like this pressure building up essentially behind your eyes. But as you sort of avoid his hand, it sort of goes away and sort of recedes a bit. And he's like,
Oh, good.
But then at this point, the 4 people who are chanting kind of just charge forward with a scream, and 2 of them are on Sorry, and 2 of them are on Roll 1.
Fair,
so
cool. Wait, this is their fast round or slow round?
Yeah, so they're charging. They're charging in.
Okay, they're charging. Okay, cool.
So they're going fast. For the 2 on Roll 1, one of them makes contact and one of them does not. And the 2 on Sorry, one of them hits, and so does the other.
So this stupid heavy armor that's supposed to be at least protecting me has not protected me.
They rolled quite well. They're using the other side of the D20. Roll 1 takes 6 damage. Sorry takes 6 damage as well.
Okie doke.
And is that putting you back into injured? Sorry?
Yes, that should. Yep, because that's up to 10, and my total health is 17, so I'm injured.
Yeah, you're fine.
I thought it was only... So do we get injured if we take half of our health in one hit, or it's just like whenever we...
No, once you reach half, once the damage is equal to half your health, you are injured, as it were.
Okay.
Sorry is feeling it, guys.
The one who was leading the chant continues chanting, but and then a sort of a magical shimmer starts to appear around this person's body, and then we go into slow rounds.
I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I think so. Can I get up to the ones that are on sorry?
Yes, they've moved up closer, so you can move up to them. Yeah.
Okay. I would like to stab them with a long knife, hopefully with the
Sure.
pointy end.
So with the trickery, you get the boon. So you roll the boon first.
Get a burn.
Woo!
And
One.
then make the attack. Still good. Still good. Make roll damage.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bam! Yeah, you just stab him in the
Stabber.
neck, and he just drops.
Yes!
Just
Go Aurora.
Throw one to one side.
yeah. That's the top of the round.
So the leader of them, the one that was using the staff, he's down now.
No, one of the other fanatics
okay.
who was attacking Sorry is died.
And I can't get a clear shot on the leader guy because of
No, because there's now oppressive. Well, there's now not only is it's now Sorry and Raw 1, so it's actually even harder.
Okay.
To get a
All right,
clear.
I'm going to shoot
Am
one of the
I-
other guys. Oh, sorry. You go, Rhea, if you're ready.
No, sorry, I'm reading about different attribute attacks.
Actually, I was wondering if
You
Aurora
can-
could.
Sorry. Yeah.
Am I within? Am I able to? I don't understand how disengage works.
You're a rogue, right?
Yes.
So there's
could
the
use
retreat
your-
action,
Yeah.
which is an action, and you can move half your speed without getting any opportunity attacks. But yeah, as a rogue, you've got the what's it called?
Nimble recovery. If you've
Nimble
taken
recovery.
damage-
Yes.
Oh right.
You can.
Would I
if
need
you've taken damage,
to
you can
use
heal
that?
as well.
if I
Well,
wanted
that's
to
also an
stab?
action.
Okay. I don't.
If you want the other one on
do
Sorry
that.
is still within within stabbing distance of you, so you can still
Yes.
without needing to move anywhere, you can still stab that guy.
Are all of them within range of the initial guy that's been doing all of the?
The baddies,
Street
the
talk.
How do you
staff
mean
guy.
how do you mean by in range? In range of what?
Like I just don't understand physically in terms of how in relation to each
So-
other. Like if I turned around
essentially-
and stabbed him instead.
You're not close
Can I
enough
do
to
that?
that guy. So basically, he was at the sort of the back of this group, and then Sorry and Raw 1 have engaged on him. There was 5 other people. 4 of them were these sort of like these fanatics, and one of them, the supervisor, sort of leading the chant. And they've sort of the fanatics have kind of split into 2. They came around the side, and so 2 of them went on to Sorry, 2 of them went on to Raw 1, and then the other one seems to have cast a spell on themselves. So you were able to get to the guy to within reach of the 2 that are on Sorry, but
Yeah.
the leader is on the other side of Sorry, essentially. So you'd have to move around further, which if you can dispose of this other guy, you can do without a hassle. But while that guy's there, you would need to do the retreat action to do. And
Well, let's
Sly,
do-
you can shoot the ones on the fanatics on Raw 1 or the supervisor without, you do have a clear shot on those.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot any of them that are engaged with Aurora because I want to try and get her free of engagement so she can do the thing she was saying, like go and stab.
Right.
the
Well,
leader.
you'll have a bane on that guy because there's a Sorry and an Aurora.
No, I don't want to shoot the leader. I want to shoot one of the.
Yeah, no,
The
that's what
guy,
he's saying.
the
one
only
that's
the only
engaging
one
her.
on Aurora is also on Sorry. So
Yeah.
there's 2
Oh,
on Sorry.
okay.
Aurora killed
And
one, and there's the other one that they're now both. There's sort of this combat.
All right,
with Sorry
I'll just
and-
pick off one of the other ones then.
Yeah,
One of
it's
the
just
ones I can
essentially
shoot
like
with
shoot.
a boon.
It's difficult to shoot into combat, but shooting into combat
Yeah.
because Raw 1 is so big, it's actually a bit easier.
I'm gonna. I'll shoot one of the ones I can shoot with a boon.
Yeah, sure.
That's a 16.
Hey.
Yeah, you land that blow.
7 damage.
It does reel from the hit, but isn't stopped.
Okay.
I think
sort of again, like the other ones, there's that they've just got that the madness in the eyes, and they're sort of driven by this fanaticism. It's just letting them.
Sorry's going to turn around and see that Aurora's helping them out, and they're going to be like, sorry, like, but you don't know if they're saying their name as a cry or apologizing, and they're going to take out the one that's engaging them so that you can hopefully get around. Attempt to anyway, so straight roll, because nothing weird going on. That's better. 21.
Yeah. You're not level 2, are you? No. It's a shame.
No, I'm level 1. Yeah. So it's also quite low. 6 damage on that guy.
Yeah, it doesn't take him out, but it does. He's fairly injured.
Balls.
That's okay. We can
so,
all
Aurora,
go
did you want to
for him
go fast? If you want to go before that guy?
I am going to go fast and try to finish off this guy that's on Sorry.
Sure.
See what we can do.
Yes, look at you landing these,
definitely.
Aurora.
Now, as a fun little aside, Aurora, you are level 20. Not level 20. You've rolled at 20. You're level 20 in a game that only goes to level 10. You're amazing.
All right, we win.
No,
Winning. I win.
Default. No, you rolled a 20 or higher, and you've exceeded the number that you were targeting by at least 5. As a rogue, you get to take a second turn any point before the end of the round. Either another fast or a slow one later on, should you choose. As long as it's before the end of the round, because you get to exploit the opportunity that you've created. But roll damage. See what you do to this guy. Yeah, again, between you and Sorry, you drop this guy, and he was also dealt with quite handily.
Okay.
But yeah, just let me, if you can just immediately take another fast action if you want, or you can wait for the slow so you can move around and attack, or however you want to handle it. Just let me know when you want to take.
Yeah, it's going to be It's going to be a slow turn, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, get slow and sneak up there.
Yeah.
So that was everyone except roll 1. So roll 1 is focusing on the leader.
Yes, please roll 1.
And
yes.
Yeah, just
yes.
Just I mean, you've seen a cat playing. You can all imagine a cat, playing with with prey. But this cat is, the size of a horse and made of metal, and the prey is a person. And they take 19 damage.
I want that on a t-shirt.
Which, surprisingly, doesn't kill this guy.
Oh, crap.
He does. He does. It's the first time. It is the first time that you've seen him actually sort of like really seem to react to the pain. Like the other things, like he reacted to the impact, but this one's actually does seem a bit hurt.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
We're done with fast rounds, I think.
Yep.
So that's yours. So this guy will he sort of pulls himself up and he's like, well, I didn't expect this thing. Looking at roll 1, he goes, maybe I don't take something from you, Orc. Maybe we do this instead. And again, he sort of locks eyes with you and remind me what your will is. Sorry.
That's a great question. It's not great. My will is 9.
You feel again a similar pressure, as it were.
Yeah.
But instead of the top behind your eyes, it's sort of in like the base of your skull, and it's this you feel something. It feels like something's trying to crawl inside of you and take over your body. And as you were resisting, it hurts. But we'll get to that at the end of the round. The remaining these sort of fanatic cultists, there's the two on
Roll one.
On roll one will swing and swing.
You're using me against me.
Yes, I am. I'm sorry. I get similar before. One of them makes a blow, but the other one is just thrashing against roll one to no effect, and seems to be actually doing himself more harm. Good. And even the one that's damaging roll one isn't exactly doing a good job. They are using like rusty farm implements to do this, but yes. The remaining one who was casting before.
There's another caster.
Across. Well, the one that was the supervisor, the one leading the chant.
Yeah.
Who cast a spell on themselves last round.
Isn't that the one that just did a mind thing to Sorry? Or is there a second one?
No, that was the leader.
There's a second one.
That was the leader.
Oh, there's another.
Still talking. Sorry.
There's a leader and there's a supervisor.
The leader. There's the four people who were chanting, and then there was the one leading the chant. And the one leading the chant last round cast a thing on themselves, and they kind of. And it looks very much like the one who flamed you all last time.
Did not realize there was a second caster. I would have been shooting.
Me neither. Whoops.
Sorry, I wasn't.
No, sorry. I should be keeping notes.
Clear.
Oh well.
He will. He sort of as he's sort of chanting, there seems to be like motes of light start appearing above him until there's roughly 7 of them, and then he sort of just flings his arms forward. And 4 of them fly into Sly, and 3 of them fly into Aurora. And so, Sly, you take 4 damage, and Aurora, you take 3.
I'm assuming these are like magic missiles; they can't miss.
Basically, yeah.
All right, I'm not looking good, squad. I'm at 13 of 15.
And that will bring us to the end of the round. So at the end of the round, Sly, you've got this.
Hang on, was that the end of the slow round?
You get a slow turn. Yeah,
I get a slow
turn. Yes. What would you like to do with your slow turn?
Run up to the guy that keeps talking shit and stab him.
Yeah. So you don't get a boon on this roll. You don't get a boon on this roll, but you can. You don't get a boon, but you can just make a straight agility roll.
Yeah, because you can only use triple once.
No, he doesn't. He's able to get out of the way.
But now I'm in melee with him.
But you are now sort of like you've put him, but he's got like sorry and roll 1 on one side, and then behind is Aurora's come around and slashing with her knife. But sorry, as I said, you've got that sort of pressure, this pain building into your in the back of your head. And so essentially the choice you can make is you can either take D6 damage right now, or you will be compelled by this guy next turn, and you will be making that choice until the spell goes away.
Okay, can I argue? I don't know how to do this, but I was like, okay, considering that Sorry self-flagellates and like regularly and is a pain demon of sorts, pain is their thing. Is there any way that they get any sort of mitigation? I know I'm really pulling here, and obviously there might be nothing.
You wouldn't get mitigation, but you can. I mean, it potentially could weigh on your decision about how okay you are taking damage.
I mean, look, a D6 has the potential to knock me unconscious at this point.
Yeah, so the compelled infliction, just to remind everyone, means that you won't take any actions or move next turn, but during the fast round, basically this leader can choose to make you either do a move or an attack.
Yeah. So you know what? I think Sorry's way is to fight. Sorry's gonna fight. I might pass out, guys. Sorry, but I think Sorry.
That's all right.
So you're resisting.
Sorry's. Yeah, I'm resisting.
You finally get a hit, but on one of us.
You take 5 damage.
Oh. I'm still in.
Enough?
Just.
You're on 1.
I'm on 1.
All right.
Okay.
Top of the round.
Finish that guy off, man.
Yeah. I think Sorry's immediately like reacting to that incredible pain, gonna swing hard down with the Morning Star on that asshole.
Bring it.
Okay, hope for the best. 15.
Yeah, you hit.
All right, let's roll for that. And that's an 8 damage, max damage.
Oh,
Yes.
Sorry is not impressed.
No, Sorry is reeling.
And yeah, you slam this down on him. He kind of almost drops to a knee, and he staggers up.
God, he's still alive. God.
And he sort of coughs, and out of the mouth hole of this demon mask, his blood just comes out, and he sort of chuckles, and he's just like, more resistant than I expected. Suppose you can't. You are a credit, Orc. It is a shame. You are on the wrong side of history. And he sort of pulls himself up as Aurora. This time you get a boon. This time you do get a boon.
I love that you didn't even wait for him to finish. You're like, stab him. Just stab him.
Yeah.
Stab. Shut it up. Shut it up.
Yeah, roll damage.
Yes.
Come on. Stab him hard. Stab him so hard.
Stab swift.
Yeah, he's sort of he's getting up, and he's just like, it's a shame that you are on the wrong side of it. And it's like just keels forward, and then you see this tiny fawn just like holding a knife forward. This was just rammed into his back, and he just drops forward.
Oh yes.
Which immediately
Nicely done.
The pain goes away.
Oh, thank you. That actually, I was getting a headache, so that's great. I felt like the tension of this was like getting to me. I just feel that relax.
Yeah. Sly, what are you doing?
I'm gonna shoot that other caster who I should have shot last round if I'd known he existed. Sneaky hiding from me.
Yeah.
Shooty. With no, it's only a 9.
Missed.
And
you go. I was
just saying,
it does look like it's a good shot, but it does that shimmer. Seems to deflect the arrow at the sort of just at the close to, just before it reaches him.
Yeah, and as I see that, I go assault mode, and I'm commanding Raw 1 to attack that one now.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. That's all. That's everyone's fast actions, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So we will go
except
straight to
roll
roll 1.
Except for Raw.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
roll 1.
Roll 1 is actually because of roll 1's size, can sort of maneuver around and can actually reach this guy and just sort of, more like reach out of this big paw and just slam it into this guy, which he does, and kind of like it kind of just brings it down, and it just like it's got these claws and just crushes him to the ground, and then just picks him up and flings him away, and then breaks this guy.
Yeah.
It kind of reaches over the two people that's attacking him and just goes and throws.
Sly
Roll 1
like
is
starts
everything.
whispering to themselves, and it's just like, good target spotting. Yes, good leadership. Good delegation. Well done.
Yeah, promotion.
the two that were fighting, were just suddenly ignored by Raw 1, will continue their flailing. One of them does land a hit, but barely. The other one is just kind of like, is actually in trying to maneuver around this large lion, has managed to get himself more hurt than anything else.
I would just want to see a cartoon of just these two guys like, ow,
Yeah. Well, it's just not like
Clang,
the regular
clang,
movement
clang,
of the line. It's still just like battering this thing as he's trying to get away, and it just still manages to hurt them. Yeah, that's top of the round again. It's just these two.
All right, let's finish them off. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, this is the same one that I shot before. A 25.
Yes. You rolled over a 20. You get to go again if you want, but roll damage first.
All right. Yeah, let's do it. 9 damage.
So the one,
Is he alive?
yeah, the one that you were shooting before is you just drop him with this arrow.
All right, and then a 17. Sorry, I didn't roll the agility on the second one.
Yeah, that also hits.
So he takes 2 damage.
No, this guy's barely hanging on. Like he doesn't. His actions don't show it because he's just manically flailing. But like the body can only take so much.
Am I close enough to swing my Morning Star into his head?
You would have to charge to do it, but you just have to sort of move
I'll
around,
wait then.
roll one a bit.
Yeah, because I've got too many beans.
Same with Aurora. If you wanted to charge, you could do that, and you could mitigate the bane with your boon, but you won't get the bonus damage.
I'll take a slow turn.
All right. I mean, I'm going to imagine that, roll 1.
Yeah, roll finishes as well.
Thank you, Raw.
Thanks, Raw.
So both rolls that roll 1 just made would have killed him. The first roll would have killed him from full health if he was undamaged. So yeah, this guy.
Oh wow.
Just crushed.
Sweet. All right.
You're all able to take a moment to catch your breath.
Kraken
I guess.
I think Kraken is safe.
Yeah, exactly. Sly puts away their bow, walks into the room like dusting their hands, and is like, good fighting, everybody. Now, Aurora, do you have like a key to this thing?
Well, I have a
key to this
been
one?
given.
No.
Aurora does not, but Sly and Sorry have been given the access codes or what have you.
Beep boop boop beep boop. Crank.
What you do notice though that there are definitely a few of these sort of like, and it's kind of like there's just it's like a storage area, but there's definitely like magical protections and runes and whatnot, and you can see that some of the lesser ones have definitely been broken, and so some of the stuff isn't in there, but the more sensitive material, it does seem to be there still.
Right.
As far as
so
you can
there's
tell.
like a bunch of files and paperwork and stuff.
Files and maybe like some just these like items that don't mean
anything valuable.
to you, but it's like if it's in here, you were told, if it was in the vault, you were told to either destroy it or recover it. So, but it's mostly files and stuff. I mean, if you look at it, it's like there's information on like different people and operational reports and stuff.
If there are any valuable looking objects, Sly will pocket them, but then they pull out their tinderbox and are going to just set all the papers on fire.
You're going to burn it, not recover it?
I was going to say, Sorry, I think
I'm going
instinct
to
is,
recover.
wait, I can read. So I think I'm going to go through and use my reading to quickly read things and recover as much as I can carry in my backpack that I feel is worth.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that more of those nasty fellows might turn up, but as you like. And they're just
Yeah, I mean,
items.
you can basically collect between all of you and Raw One. You can carry all of it without effort. It's not like a huge amount
thank
of
God
stuff.
for Raw 1.
Yeah, most
Sweet.
of the information, I guess I probably wasn't clear, but most of the compact's information is kept at headquarters in the central archive, which is referred to as the stack. This is some like extra stuff. So this is basically stuff that this safe house had collected but hadn't yet transferred to headquarters.
Yeah.
But there's also just like there's probably like other locations of other safe houses and possibly even the headquarters, which is definitely something you don't want to these guys to know about. So that was the other cause. And then these items don't, like, at a glance, most of these items don't look particularly valuable in and of themselves. So whatever value the compact has for them isn't clear.
All right.
Pocket a few
I say
things and
we head back, and Sorry, who has 1 damage point left, is going to slump over Raw 1 and ride Raw 1 all the way back.
Yeah.
If
you assuming...
Can I poke my head into that barracks door to see what's in there?
Yes, you can. And you can make a will roll.
Okay. That's a 9.
Yeah. You're going to gain an insanity. It is a carnal house in the barracks. Whatever.
I think there's that moment
of like.
Sly opens the door. And then closes the door, turns back to the group and goes, yep, okay, we should go. No survivors. And just like wide-eyed, just stares. And then in that like room where there was like all those supply crates or whatever, they just set a fire. They're still burning this place down.
I'm burning.
Like,
I need to burn something.
Carrying.
Yeah.
The whole thing's going
essentially,
up
this you can figure that this is like there's a combination of like this is probably where they've obviously killed everyone. And where they butchered them for the little diorama that you saw earlier. But there's also a few bodies that have clearly been used in the kind of like ritual sacrifice, essentially.
Yeah.
And that accounts for all the people.
Cool. I'm out.
Yeah.
Literally unconscious on top of Raw 1.
You do like, I assuming Sly sort of maybe like has it while given that he generally loots. If you look over the corpses of these the people that you just killed, does look like there's a few extra, some of the stuff that clearly was for the ones that were already open. It seems like the leader was carrying some of that. It looks like the leader was carrying at least some of that stuff. So there is a few more odds and ends on the leader's corpse that you can find.
All right. As we leave the compound, Sorry slumped over Raw, and Sly's walking next to Aurora, and they just say, oh, well, welcome to the compact proper. You can call me Lieutenant Sly now.
Aurora is well enough that's a lot of shit.
It's a field promotion, darling. A field promotion.
I'm absolutely not going to do that. No.
Speaking of promotions, we're going to, as we are getting very close to the end of the episode, we do cut to back to headquarters after you've all sort of returned, and this is probably you've had time to sort of recuperate a little bit. You've gone to gone to the medical facility. Doc Hither has seen to you to the best of her capacity, but we have a bit of a ceremony. And in the sort of common area, everyone sort of has gathered, and standing in front of everyone is Sly and Aurora. And you have Colonel Berger, who is the High Commander of the Compact. He's a sort of kind of a short, overweight, very unassuming man. He was someone you wouldn't even think, you definitely wouldn't consider to be like the leader of this organization, except when you look him in the eyes, you just see this depth of intelligence and this resolve and ruthlessness. In an insanity point. No, but we sort of come into this, and you see Berger is just sort of going, in recognition for all of your work, I now hereby grant Sly and Aurora the rank of full agent. Welcome to the compact. May you continue to serve it diligently. And then there's applause. And Berger sort of walks off. And as this applause is happening, we follow Berger, and he sort of walks away. Everyone's congratulating Sly and Aurora, welcoming them in. You know, you're no longer candles in the eyes of the compact. You are agents of the compact. And Berger sort of leaves, and he goes into this small room. And as he walks into this room, we see this tall clockwork made of like this very intricate and exotic materials. Has a kind of a very sort of like, it looks very feminine. And as she turns, you see her faceplate is made up of hundreds, if not thousands, of little like needles that sort of move in and out to give the semblance of a face. And as Berger walks in, he looks at her and goes, "Anything new?" And we turn, they see they're looking through a window, and in the next room, we see Agent or Sergeant Codden, who normally only has one arm, but now he has it seems like a kind of like a mechanical prosthesis for where his right arm would be, and he's wearing a heavy leather apron and very basic clothes, not in his uniform as he normally is. And strapped to a chair, we recognize one of the people who was captured from the Dewhurst mission. And there's like tendrils coming out of Codden's mechanical arm and have gone into this guy who is just, we can't hear anything, but there's just scream. He looks like he's just screaming and then just passes out. Okay. And then the clockwork sort of turns to Berger and just says, "No, it's the same as the others. Codden mentioned again, he could detect magic within them, something that's been placed there, but it's beyond his capacity to learn more, and their answers were the same as the other two. But I think you need to see this." And she hands him a piece of paper, and she goes, "That is a list of the inventory recovered from the Fair Rock safe house. I think it's interesting to note what's not there." And Berger looks down, and he looks back up, and he goes, "I don't like coincidences, and this one is too big to ignore. I think I'm going to have to break a promise." And that's where we're going to end.
All right.
Hey.
Good work, guys.
I love not knowing if we're the good guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the good guys in a relative sense.
Yeah.
In know, when compared to the people who are the bad guys usually.
All right, we should wrap up. We're running late.
So we are just about to, we're coming to the end. So quickly, you're going to whip around, tell everyone again who you are, where they can find you, and what you're up to. Jamie, lead us off.
Yep, I'm Jamie Collette. I'm at Muffin Manifesto on Twitter. I'm a voice actor based in Sydney, and you can find all my stuff on Twitter. I suppose I'm a game designer now too. I'll be announcing that in the next couple of weeks, so you'll see. All right,
very exciting.
Great. I'm Rhiannon Moushall. I'm an actor and voice actor based in the UK. You can find me at RS Moushall on Twitter, and please check out the Penny Peep Show podcast. It's a radio drama series, and I'm a regular on there, and I'd love it if you checked it out. Thanks.
Awesome. Chantel.
I'm Chantel Benjamin. You can find me at Chantel B on Twitter, and I'm a Sydney-based actor.
And I am Sammy P. I am a Brisbane-based performer. I do acting and voice acting. I'm currently doing a series on YouTube, I'm calling my Let's Voice series, where I play role-playing games. Currently alternating between Pillars of Eternity and Pathfinder Kingmaker, and I turn off all the voices so that I have to do them myself, and I get to convince myself that I'm practicing my voice acting while playing video games. And while he wasn't here, we normally joined by Zane C. Weber. You can find him at Zane C. Weber on Twitter, and he does a whole range of fantastic podcasts at that's on the umbrella of That's Not Canon Productions. I recommend checking those out. And I forgot to mention this last episode, but basically, given that we have taken a lot of inspiration from XCOM, I have decided that the base building aspects of XCOM will be put into your hands as the Encounter Roleplay audience. So every time we complete a mission, I will put up a tweet with a poll with a few options of how to upgrade the headquarters. And that will directly affect the game. So far, we have had an upgrade to the medical facilities, which is why everyone had a health potion. And from last week, which I kind of forgot to tell anyone, so we didn't get a lot of votes, but the central archive, the stacks, have begun to be sorted out. So there's a bit more information available to the players. So afterwards, I'm going to put up a tweet. You can find it on me. Potentially, Counter Roleplay will retweet it, but whatever tweet gets the most, whatever one option gets the most votes in about 5 days, that is the upgrade we'll go with. So thank you very much for joining us. This has been Empire and Shadow, and please stay tuned because there's more fantastic role-playing content coming up on Encounter Roleplay. See you next week.